Coming up today, from hair loss and skin changes to mastectomies, cancer treatments can make it hard to recognize yourself in the mirror. Today, we meet the people helping patients find themselves again. Good morning, I'm Jessica Lovell. Welcome to the Morning Medical Update. Today we are live inside Missy's Boutique, which is located inside the Westwood campus for the University of Kansas Cancer Center. And if you're here, you're going to walk by and you're going to think, pretty cool, a nice little gift shop at the Cancer Center, right? But this is way, way more than just a gift shop. The people who work here, they are giving support, they are giving love, lots of friendship to people dealing with cancer. And this morning, we're going to actually show you how they're doing that. But before we get to that, I'm going to send it into Alexis Del Cid. She's got our morning rounds. Good morning.
Good morning, Jessica. And I'm speaking with Kelby Steele from Halls, Kansas City, the local department store that's truly a Kansas City institution. And she's here to talk about an upcoming fashion show supporting Missy's Boutique. Good morning, Kelby.
Hi, good morning.
So happy to have.
So Halls is hosting the Spirit and Style fashion show this Thursday night at Halls. The event doors open at 5, fashion show at 5:30 with a private shopping party after. And 100% of the ticket sales go directly to Missy's Boutique. Halls will also be donating 10% of the sales that night as well to Missy's Boutique.
And Kelby, why was supporting Missy's so important to Halls?
Yeah, I mean, Halls and Missy's are both in the business of helping people, really helping people find confidence in their style. And it just seemed like a great way we could come together, join forces to local businesses in the Kansas City community where we could partner and, bring great fashion for a great cause.
One of the coolest parts about this fashion show is that cancer survivors and people affected by cancer will be the models on the catwalk. How many models do you have?
Yes, so we have 24 ladies, and all of them have either, battled cancer themselves or, whether it be a family member or friend that has battled or is battling and they want to support that. It's great. And, cancer affects so many. It's affected so many of our clients, just so many people in the community. And this is just feels like a really meaningful way we can all come together for a great night of style and strength and support.
There are people watching, a lot of people watching who want to go. So tell us again when it begins and where the show is and who's allowed to attend.
Yes, so the show's at Halls, Kansas City. It's open to the public. We're located on the 3rd floor of Crown Center. All you have to do is buy a ticket. There's a Spirit and Style fashion show page through KU Med that you can go there, make your donation, and then you can get a ticket to come to the show. There's both VIP options and general admission options.
So if you're looking at your screen right now, to our viewers, you will see a QR code in the bottom right. Scan that QR code. It takes you immediately to a place where you can buy tickets. And it's a win-win, Kelby, because when someone purchases a ticket, not only are they supporting Missy's and people with cancer, they could also win a big prize. Can you tell us some of the prizes?
Yeah, so all of our VIP ticket holders are automatically registered to win some exciting drawings, including a Dolce & Gabbana handbag, a $250 Halls gift card, and then 3 lucky winners will win a free pair of shoes of their choice from Golden Goose, Ferragamo, and Christian Louboutin. So that's pretty exciting. And then if anyone makes a purchase that night who's attending the show, they can also enter to win some exciting registered wins like Gucci sunglasses, a Viore outfit of their choice from Halls, Julie Voss bracelet, Creed fragrance, a bottle of Creed fragrance, and then also a Jimmy Choo shoe drawing for a free pair of shoes from Jimmy Choo at Halls. So some very exciting register to win drawings. We'll have vendors in the store. We'll have exclusive trunk shows going on. So just great fashion for a great cause.
Kelby, you rattled off a few brands that perked every woman's attention who is watching this, the Louboutin shoes included. Thank you so much. This is going to be a beautiful event for a wonderful cause.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Now let's send it back to Jessica Lovell, who's live at Missy's Boutique this morning. Good morning, Jess.
Hey, Alexis, good morning. So we are standing here with Terry and Lindsay Durgan. You may remember them because they were just recently on an episode of the Morning Medical Update talking about their journey as mother and daughter who are living and laughing through their cancer diagnosis. Right. They're not taking it lying down by any stretch of the imagination. So Terry, you both are frequent flyers at Missy's. You say you, in between appointments, you'll pop in and you're actually head to toe in Missy's, by the way, this morning. So tell me a little bit about, you lost your hair, you use hair scarves. What went your decision to do that?
When I went through cancer the first time, it was summer, and so I started with headscarves. Now that I'm going into fall and winter, and I've lost it with this second treatment, my head's already cold. So I'm actually have quite a nice selection from Missy's here, because you can come in, you can just try it with your clothes a little bit, your colors, and see what the weight is, so that it will help keep your head warm. And that's even whether it's air conditioning or just slipping outside.
So it's year-round for you?
It's year-round.
Lindsay, what about you? What are some of the items that you have found really, really helpful here at Missy's that have helped you through your treatment?
There's a jacket over here that's really easy, like it zips for accessing my port. I found that really easy. I have it in 5 colors, and when I lost my hair, I bought a lot of those scarves, so I have like this bucket full of them, and she sometimes wears them too. So,
how important was it, though, for you to have a spot to come that you could walk in and go, they're going to have something that I need. I'm not going to have to go around asking questions. They know exactly what I'm looking for.
It was good because sometimes when you come out of appointments or treatments, you're just like, so.
Like what's next, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So then coming in here and just looking at everything, because they seem to have something new every week. So.
And you use you like to pick up some of their inspirational gifts too, because they've got a lot of those.
Yeah, I like to get their jewelry, and this is also a really great place to come and get like gifts for friends, like birthday cards and earrings, and there's even like a sparkly Chiefs jersey that my dad got me here. So yeah.
Well, good.
This is great.
Well, we're glad that you come here and that you feel comfortable. And it's like you came in this morning and you're giving hugs all around to everyone. So it's a familiar place, right?
It sure is. And it's also a safer place because when your immune system's down, we can come in here anytime and feel comfortable where we're at. And then we don't have to worry about the large
crowds
numbers in really, really huge places.
Well, stick around. We're going to come back and find you here in just a bit. Shop around a bit, okay?
We will.
We'll come find you, okay, ladies? I want to turn to the manager at Missy's, Judith Newell. We always love seeing you. How are you today?
I'm just great, thank you.
So you ran some numbers for us. You talked about let's talk about how long you've been doing this, how long Missy's has been here, and how many patients that you think you've served over that time.
Okay, well, let's see. We opened in 2010. Okay, at that point there was just myself, and then as we built our clientele, I was able to bring on 7 mastectomy fitters and 4 cosmetologists. So everybody's licensed in here. So I was looking at numbers the other day, just getting a ballpark figure on what we've done, 5 days a week, 8 to 9 hours, 10 sometimes. Anyway, I came up with about 25,000 women have come through this boutique, and I'm so proud that we have been able to give this service to them.
So 25,000 women.
Yes.
But it started with 2. Let's talk about how Missy's got its name.
Okay, well, let's look at the pictures up here, okay? These are 2, I call them lovely angels. Missy Malter Newell on the left just happens to be my daughter-in-law. And then Missy Wilcox O'Neill. Both of these girls went through a very horrendous battle with breast cancer. And they both said, even though they didn't know each other, the families came together afterwards. And they both wanted the same thing. And that was to have one-stop shopping for our patients, because they was exhausted at the end of treatment running around Kansas City trying to find wigs, hats, scarves. They didn't even have a port shirt then. So we've come a long ways. And because of those 2 angels, those 25,000 women have been served. And so I am so proud that there is a legacy here at Missy's Boutique.
What do you think they would say, Missy and Missy, knowing that they have inspired all of this and all of those women?
Yes. Even though because they had small children, they would definitely want to be here. But since they can't and they've gone to do other things, I think they would say, way to go. I am so happy that others have been helped.
Well, let's get to shopping.
Yes,
8 o'clock in the
yes.
morning. I'm going to meet you over here, and you're going to
Okay.
show us a few things,
You
okay?
got it. Yes, indeed.
So we were talking with Lindsay and Terry about some of the scarves and some of the
Yes.
wigs and hats and just different options. Tell us what people can find here.
Oh my gosh, let's start out with what they can't find. Anyway, these are just small examples of our wigs. And we wanted to show that we have curly, straight, short, long. There's about 100 swatches of hair we have in the wig room, so we can match anybody's hair. Okay, then we have all of these headwear here. And these are very popular, especially these right here. This is a bamboo hat, and it's the softest fiber that a patient can put on, yes, on their heads. And so these are very, very popular, and they all come in different colors. Hats, you know, underneath scarves.
I think it's cool because you allow women to find their style. You're not
Absolutely.
saying, here's one option, pick a wig, pick a hat, just pick one thing. You can really kind of mix and match and do what you love.
Right, and that's what this is all about. We want our patients to feel like they're comfortable. We're not going to try to sell them something they don't need. We're all licensed, we're certified, we know what we're doing, and I think they can feel that, because it's amazing the clientele, the repeat that keeps coming back. And so that tells me they like us.
So Judith, you know, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October, and when we reached out to you, you said, you know, can we really highlight the people that help these women find the right wig and the right style? So we're going to do that this morning, okay?
Absolutely. Go talk to my staff. They're amazing.
Okay, I'm going to go find your, I think she called it wig coach. She calls herself a wig coach. So
Okay,
let's go
let's
find the
go.
wig coach.
Okay.
Excuse me, we'll find you in just a second.
bet.
Okay, so let's come find Jordan Colley, mastectomy fitter and cosmetologist. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Very excited to talk about what I'm very passionate about.
So a woman walks into this room. They've heard some unpleasant news. They're going through a lot. What kind of conversations are you having with them?
Sure, I just immediately like to give them a safe place and let them know that their emotions through this journey are valid. So we sit and we kind of do a consultation just immediately of their expectations and whether or not they've worn a wig before. I love to educate through this whole process in terms of scalp health, wig options, cap sizes, and really just sit with them and see what they're expecting.
And a lot of this is, you know, they're in the middle of treatment or pre-treatment because you're shaving heads in here, and it gets very emotional. How are you stepping in and being that girlfriend for some of these women?
That's a great question. So I really like to give back the gas pedal and brake through this whole experience. And so sometimes, especially in terms of shedding, I like to remind them that they're not their hair and that this is a psychological aspect of treatment. And with head shaving, that might be jarring at first, but really as a solution just to help give them back that kind of control in a situation where they feel out of control. So I'm here through the whole experience with them. I incorporate, a friend or a spouse, or I've had other stylists step in. It's pretty interesting in the room, but emotions do tend to get high, but I know how to comfort. I'm an empath, so I really love my job, and it makes it worthwhile coming to work.
Well, you're the hair coach.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you find though that people come in and then feel better in many times when they leave here?
Yes, I'm not personally the one, I'm behind the chair, so I'm not sitting in the chair, but I do get hugs and I get handshakes, and I really get loved on by my patients, and that just kind of reinforces that what I am doing, it means something, and it's very important. So, as far as also as, we're salon based, I do offer the haircut solution, but we have product line, I moved to swatches, so I can really customize this experience and give back that kind of control aspect of making my patients feel normal again and healthy back to their original state. So, and then again, I also teach on hair regrowth too. So I love being solution based. So, I understand that this is a temporary phase through a lot of women's life, and I understand that the attachment to their hair is great. That's how we identify a lot as women. So I love to just remind them that this is a blip in the map on their cancer journey, and I will teach them, massage techniques, oils, products they can use at home to really incorporate hair growth, wake that follicle back up.
I like what you said, giving them that power, that control
Sure,
back.
absolutely.
And this is just a blip on the radar. I like
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
Thank you for the work you're doing. Great,
Thank you.
great stuff. Much more to come at Missy's this morning. Alexis, I'm going to send it back to you. Who's your guest this morning?
We're joined by Dr. Jessica Hamilton, and Jessica is a psychologist here at the health system. Dr. Hamilton, you're here to talk to us about mental health because we know from talking to so many of our doctors, our oncologists here at the health system, that mental health and taking care of that is a huge part of the cancer treatment and survivorship. And for patients who are walking into Missy's for the first time, they're feeling defeated, they're scared, they're overwhelmed. How do the services at Missy's foster hope for patients who are often at their lowest point?
Well, I think this was a great demonstration. There was a lot of vocabulary words that I'm going to just throw out. The word control and lack of control is where when they walk into Missy's, they frequently are feeling like they have no control over their lives, over their health, over their body image. And Missy's is a place where they can start to take back some of that control and redefine who they want to be during their cancer journey and into survivorship. So sometimes people have this desire to really try to look similar to the way that they did prior to cancer. And sometimes people want to really make this a statement time for themselves. And that can be with different scarves, that can be with different wigs. I had a patient once who, as Halloween is approaching, she got a black wig so that she could really dress the part.
Yeah.
And it allows them to hold their identity and personality and a way of displaying it, even though they may not have control over some of the aspects of their cancer journey.
That's such an interesting aspect, and I wouldn't have thought of the word control as the first thing coming to mind for an important thing in a cancer patient's journey, but that's huge. Women often talk about how traumatic it is losing their hair. If you or anyone you know has had a friend going through it, it's an inescapable reminder every time you look in the mirror that you have cancer. So for someone watching right now going through that, how do they refocus their emotions and their energy to handle the hair loss?
So people handle it differently, and I think that even listening to our conversation earlier here, it's like sometimes people want to proactively shave it. It's them taking that control again back.
Yes.
Other people want to try to save some of their hair and go through a lot of different steps to try to salvage removing hair loss from being a thing. I really think that depending on the human being, it's being able to say, I did this my way.
Control.
Again, control.
Yeah.
And then sometimes there's a grief part to it, right? Like the loss of hair, there's grief in that. And accepting that as a piece of this journey and how you want to cope with it. So allowing them to cry, allowing them to feel supported and validated in those emotions, and then working with them to kind of rebuild after that hair loss has occurred. So having a warm person that they're coming to at Missy's Boutique is wonderful because they can get a hug afterwards or they can cry, and it's that support.
Someone who gets it.
Somebody who understands.
There's so many layers to this because throughout the grief that women feel, I've heard women say they feel guilty for feeling grief over hair because they think, oh, I survived cancer, I shouldn't feel bad about my hair, but it's such a loss.
It is.
And there's so much grief involved in that, and when you have a mastectomy, which is another huge piece of grief that women can feel.
Yeah.
Leading up to that surgery, there's anxiety, there's grief, there are so many emotions. How do you help women process that?
Some of it is just by validating that they're still a woman. I think a lot of times when we think about losing hair and our breasts, there's a huge gender identity of I now am no longer a woman, and that grief then comes back in. And it's recognizing that, yes, that breasts are part of you, and redefining what they want as they move forward. Again, being able to take control. Do you want reconstruction? And if not, what kind of prosthesis do you want? If you want a flap surgery where it's your own body parts that are recreating your breast, or do you want an implant? And allowing them to see those options while also recognizing the loss.
And some women take control by not getting reconstruction
Absolutely.
or a prosthesis.
Yes,
They
absolutely.
that is their way of making their statement and feeling so comfortable going forward.
Right.
And that's
Absolutely.
okay.
That's 100% okay. And and there's choices along the way.
Yes.
Not always great choices, right?
Right.
Cancer isn't a choice. Nobody signs up for it. But how can we take control and have choices along the way? And it's empowering. Another thing that people find is that the fake it till you make it statement can be true. I'm sure you've heard of that before.
Yes.
And so a lot of times when we lose our hair and we lose our breasts, we even lose eyelashes, and
Eyebrows.
so eyebrows. So it's hair loss everywhere. That being able to put makeup on, fake eyelashes on, putting a wig on, getting dressed up, having the bra couture show at halls. Like these are all things that can help us feel feminine.
Right.
Right?
I have a girlfriend who got her eyebrows tattooed on, and she feels amazing, and she looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those little things can make a big impact, not just on feeling like removing some of those symptoms of grief, but symptoms of depression, symptoms of anxiety, and just empowering and building confidence. Our body image is important to us, especially in our society. So it's okay to feel like that's a big change.
valid.
It is a valid change, and it is loss and something that's already traumatic with cancer. So being able to figure out ways to help build you up and regain some of that self-esteem and confidence is huge.
How do you advise caregivers take care of themselves, because caregivers are exhausted and then they feel bad about being exhausted because they see what their loved one is going through?
Yeah.
What do you tell caregivers?
Actually, there's a lot of research out there that suggests that caregivers are experiencing more distress than patients themselves.
Really?
Yeah, because they're watching their loved ones suffer. They're watching their loved ones go through something that they can't fix for them. And so there's a lot of distress as well as responsibility associated with being the caregiver. So I like to just first tell people that, because as caregivers, because they are experiencing a lot, and finding time for them to implement self-care strategies becomes incredibly important. Like, hey, don't forget to go to your primary care doctor.
Right.
Figure out ways to do something that is important and self-care for just them, while also making sure that their family, kids sometimes are also being supported. There are community resources for caregivers as well, whether that be individual therapists or support groups online. I know that one of my colleagues is actually working on an app right now for KU Cancer Center for survivorship and caregivers.
An app?
An app, yeah, that would
Cool.
be, yeah. So there's things going on all the time, and the recognition that caregivers are experiencing distress is definitely there. The challenge is allowing the caregivers to feel like they can take that time for themselves.
Yes, I can see that being a huge challenge because we put a lot of guilt
Oh, yeah.
on ourselves. Dr. Hamilton, thank you so much, and we're going to want to hear about the app once
Oh,
it's launched.
definitely.
We are also getting some great questions from our viewers. Be sure to send in your questions or comments to the chat on YouTube or Facebook. You can also email the Medical News Network right now. All that information on how to connect with us is on your screen, and while you send in your questions, we're going to send it back to Jessica, who is live this morning at Missy's Boutique. Jessica.
Alexis, hi, good morning. Great information from Dr. Hamilton. I'm standing in front of the fitting room, which is often a stop in the journey for women here as they come into Missy's and are trying to absorb and make it through this cancer diagnosis. So I want to introduce you to the lead mastectomy fitter here at Missy's, Sarah Goldbeck. Hi, how are you?
Oh, good. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. So tell us walk us through the experience that a woman would have coming into Missy's and then being ushered back here to this fitting room.
Well, I think most of our women here are pretty positive, thankfully, but they also are a little nervous about what's going to happen. I mean, by the time they get here, they have probably shown their chest wall to everybody in the hospital. So when they get here, they think that we don't know what we're seeing, you know, but we do. And we try to put them at ease. Let them know all the products they can get, stuff we can help with. We have certain types of breast forms for different types of chest walls that can be a little bit more catered to how their chest wall looks. We have bras, pretty bras. We have, you know, our basic bras, all of that stuff to kind of help put them at ease. And I think by the time they leave here, they feel pretty good about themselves.
Starting to get that confidence back. What are some of the questions that women have when they walk in? That you know, somebody's sitting at home and may have to enter into this room one day. It's okay to ask questions. So what do you get?
Absolutely. I think probably the most common question is if they have like one remaining breast, how are we going to make sure that that looks, you know, even and looks normal? That is the most common question, and I think we do a pretty good job of that. So, I mean, it's not going to always be perfect, but your own breasts aren't perfect anyway. So you're not going to get that regardless of anything. And so I think that is the most common question. Second one is pretty bras. You know, they still want to look and feel special. And so they want to have something that doesn't look basic.
Well, in my experience in speaking with women going through breast cancer, they often feel guilty missing their breasts. They feel like they're not supposed to, or they're not supposed to want a pretty bra or even want their breasts back. And we're here to say, no, it's okay to want them back and to look great again.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think they want to feel like a woman still, if you will. I mean, although I will say, you know, a lot of women embrace not having it all the time, you know, the weight. So, but I think there are certain occasions and there's certain areas and there's certain clothes you put on that you still want to look and feel and walk like a woman, and so they come in here wanting and expecting that.
So you say they feel much more confident as they leave.
Yeah, I mean, I've had women walk out of here crying because they're so happy, and then I have some women that walk out of here really, really proud, and so we like that.
We like that too.
We like that.
Prancing on out of here.
That's right. That's right.
With their new fitting, and I would imagine you create some pretty good friendships in here. You're getting pretty personal with these women.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we have repeats, which is great, and some ask for us by name, and some of them we're so used to seeing, and then they get used to. We have added as the years went by. I've been here since pretty much the beginning, so we've added, thank goodness, so it helps us ease up a little bit. But there's been a few that there's one that I really, really love. I love them all, but I've gotten to know her daughter. Like, she's invited me to a lot of things and stuff like that, and she comes in and she asks a bunch of questions. They're just lovely, lovely people. Yeah. So it's a family-oriented place in here, which seems odd to say, but it is true.
Well, they always say you need family around you.
You need family, you need your support, and so they come in.
Well, thank you for the work you're doing to make these women and patients feel better. Something we haven't talked about is the sparkle. And I want to explain, I want Judy to explain what she means by that, because you were telling me a really special story, and I want you to share it with our audience.
Yes, I'd be happy to. We get a lot of quotes from patients, and sometimes there is a quote that just grabs you right here. And so that's what the quotes are that are hanging up front. But one lady came in, and we had a beautiful belt with full of rhinestones on display, and she kept staring at it. I said, would you like to put the belt on? And she said, oh, no, I just want to look at it. I said, okay. And I said, why is that? She said, because the sparkle takes away the dark. And so that is why we have bling.
Speaking of it, we need lots of sparkle and bling around here.
Yes.
I'm going to squeeze in here by the ladies, but your husband, he's a big shopper here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and he got both of you ladies the essential sparkly Chiefs jersey, correct?
Oh, yes. 87 for her, 15 for me. She's the reason for 87.
I'm a big Taylor Swift fan, so I usually just wear it for Taylor on Chiefs games.
That is so risky to say, and I'm so glad you said it. I love it.
I'm a Swiftie, I'm sorry.
I love it. And I love, though, that don't you love when you see men and loved ones come in here and say, help me find the perfect gift for this woman that I love.
And you know what? We have something for everyone in here. And so, you know, I have to say, though, I'd like to stress the point that early detection is still the most powerful tool you can have in this fight against breast cancer. So please, go get your mammograms.
get your screening.
Yes, absolutely. One thing somebody said to me when I was going through this, they told me, you're braver than you believe, you're stronger than you seem, and you're smarter than you think. So I'd like to share that with everyone this morning.
We need a little uplift, so
Yes.
thank you for that, Judith. We always
you.
appreciate it. Alexis, I'm going to send it back to you. I know we're getting some good community questions.
We are, but Jessica, first question for you. Does Terry's wrap feel as comfortable as it looks? It just feels like it'd be so soft. Can you feel it for us?
Yeah, so Alexis wants me to feel your scarf to say.
No, the wrap.
She's asking, is it
the
as
wrap?
The wrap, the wrap.
Around her body.
The wrap.
Yes.
Oh, this wrap. Oh, okay. I thought you said the scarf. I'm sorry. This wrap. She said, is it as comfy as it appears?
It is very soft. It's, to me, with my friend and I, she got the same one. It feels like rabbit hair. So it's very soft. I wear a lot. And this one, I also found, I didn't even think they went together, so I didn't know. I just threw this on this morning, and they matched. But this is also one it looks like it would be really warm, and it is warm, but it's not super warm. So, I mean, it breathes.
You're doing, you're doing a really good job of modeling this morning. And I will say, Terry and I are very close now, so I can pet her.
This scarf is beautiful.
And this, for those wandering at home, this is soft as well.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
We had to know. Dr. Hamilton and I had to know. We have warm, fuzzy envy. We're getting some great questions. Jeremy actually has a wonderful thought he wants to share. Jeremy writes, it's cool to see that this isn't just a theme of the store or a sales gimmick. It's really thought out, like fabric that's extra soft for sensitive spots, post-chemo skin. The whole store is dedicated to people going through it. What a wonderful statement. And then, what a sensitive guy. Jeremy also wants to share this. He writes, I've heard that grief is described as mourning the life you thought you were going to have. That's totally okay and understandable. That's so affirming. And you've talked about that as well, Dr. Hamilton.
Yeah, and then we can talk a little bit about hope, because we're talking about grief and validating that, and then the transition of what hope, you had hope of what your life would look like when you were starting that cancer journey, and now you're going to transition into hope through cancer and into survivorship. And I think Missy's does a great job of helping you identify what that hope might look like as you move forward.
Your new path.
Yeah.
Becca wants to know, question for the staff at Missy's, for Judy. Do you have to be a patient at the cancer center to go to Missy's boutique?
Question, Judith, do you have to be a patient at the cancer center to be a patron of Missy's?
No, you do not. We have no boundaries here. Everyone is welcome. And I might add, we have a great patient in need fund for those patients that are uninsured or underinsured. So please come.
No boundaries. Alexis?
Stu would like to know how much the services at Missy's cost and if they're covered by insurance.
So you just brought up insurance. Stu would like to know, are they covered by insurance? How much do the services cost if somebody wants to come for a fitting or any of the hair services?
Well, for a consultation for a fitting, there is no charge here. The breast forms run around $329 each, so insurance is very important. All you have to do is ask your insurance company if Missy's Boutique is on their DME list. That's Deemed Medical Essentials. And I can tell you right now, most all insurances we take.
And I'm sure you'll help guide people through that.
Absolutely.
Remind them of that when they come in here.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yes.
Amy has an excellent question for Dr. Hamilton. She wants to know if you're an onco-psychologist.
Yeah, so
what is an onco-psychologist?
Great question. So the literature actually refers to it as psycho-oncology. When we identified that cancer also comes with distress and depression and anxiety, not to mention some individuals that are going through cancer had mental health issues prior to. So when we were creating our oncopsychology program, we had this discussion of should we call a psycho-oncologist or oncopsychologist, and we opted for oncopsychologist. Right. There's a funny story back behind that, but it's like cancer patients that are also dealing with emotional distress is really what that comes down to. And so, yes, I'm an oncopsychologist, bigger scale health psychologist, and recognizing that anybody that's dealing with any type of major health issue is going to deal with distress and impacts of mental health associated with that
So
medical diagnosis.
Someone going through it can actively seek out
Yeah.
an onco-psychologist.
Yeah.
We want to get to today's takeaways, and I'm going to start with Dr. Hamilton here in the studio. What do you most want our viewers to know?
That there are a lot of places that they can get support, that there are people out there that are here for you, both in your family and social circle, but also in your teams, whether that be going to Missy's, that be going to an onco-psychologist, or a support group that's out there. So please utilize those supports, both for patients and for caregivers. And that I also want to validate that these experiences, you didn't choose this for your life, and figuring out how to grieve appropriately and identify that there is grief, not shut that off, as well as then redefining what hope looks like moving forward and taking control of the places and the pieces that you can along your journey and into survivorship.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's hand it back to Jessica Lovell, who's live at Missy's with an incredible cast of guests.
Yes, a fun cast of characters. We're having a really good time. We're having a really good time. So, Lindsay, Terry, just thank you for being on our program again. I'm sure you'll be back. But what do you want people to really take away from this conversation and about finding yourself again?
I think it's so important to do not just the early tests, mammograms, keeping up with your pelvic exams, all of the things that we need to do as women, but then get right into treatment. So if you do have to if you have anything that feels about your body doesn't quite feel right, make sure you get to a doctor, and if one doesn't listen, get to the next one. But we've had such good luck here with KU Med Health System. Everything we've needed has been right here. And then Missy's was like the cherry on top.
I'm glad you said that, because it's like, if we have to know Judith, that's great. But I love that you're really driving home the idea of that we really want you to get your screenings and take care of you and know your body. Lindsay, what do you want people to take away today?
The cancer journey's hard, so having places like this to just go in and still be able to shop for jewelry and things is really nice. Because just going to malls or something like that is just a lot more dangerous. So this is a safe space awesome and really fun.
Lots of fun. Judith, how do you like being the cherry on top? You don't mind doing that?
You know what? That's going to go up on the board up front. Yes.
You made the board. You made the
yes, you
board.
did make the board. But I'd like to just say in closing that body image is very important, and when our patients come, they have a lot of challenges they are facing with that. But I have to say, honestly, this is the best staff in the city to address those needs, and we have everything you need. So why shop anywhere else?
And such a great shout out to your staff, to Jordan and Sarah, and all that they do and the connections they make.
Yes, absolutely. They are the emotion that goes on behind the scenes. So thank gosh for them and all the rest that I have in here.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all you do.
Yeah.
25,000 patients.
Yes, but I just did maybe 4 or 5. They did the rest.
You just stand around and look beautiful. I know. We know you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks to all of our guests. Thanks to our viewers and for your great questions. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Coming up Wednesday on Open Mics with Dr. Stites. For older adults, a simple fall can lead to major injuries. So just imagine someone giving seniors a shove on purpose. I'm Alexis Del Cid on the next Open Mics with Dr. Stites. Hear from the researchers putting seniors in pads to discover the safer ways to fall. And one participant who shares what he learned. Wednesday at 8 a.m.
Subscribe to our Morning Medical Update and Open Mics with Dr. Stites podcast. Now everywhere podcasts are available.